Hello, you are listening to Chapter 2 or Episode 2 called Herb, and this is from my series, Plants and Me, Botanical Lessons from My Life. Time travel was never out of reach. It just required a few simple items. People, places, smells, music, textures, items, colors. These are the items needed for time travel. Mix 1 or 2 or 3, and you've created an instant incantation, one that moves you to a different time and place. With those objects, you can retrieve feelings, memories, lessons, and pieces of life that you once feared lost to the past. For this story, all I need is a spider or corn on the cob. Good thing I have both. Let's go. It's summer. Cell phones aren't a thing. No cable. Just toys, the outside, pen, paper, and some books. The occasional PBS, Painting with Bob Ross, which would air on one of maybe 4 channels. No streaming. No endless episodes. Outside and country. Not just any country town. One that resides in the Pacific Northwest. Endless labyrinths of hops and rows of marionberries, or dreamy wheat fields that never end. A heavenly landscape of lush berries. The softest chalky dust between it all. Tall pines that you can lose yourself in, and if you're quiet, you can enter another realm. No magic necessary. Out here in the country, summers are endless. Now, I'm unsure if this is a universal human experience, but I'm gonna bet that it is a sacred truth we all understand. This day was but one of many that welcomed my soul awake. Backlit sun rays slipping through the blinds into flickers of black and white stripes and golden twinkles that danced across my bedroom floor. Summer was talking to me in code, and it was telling me there were adventures to be had. I heard its call and I listened. I picked up my notebook and began writing to decipher what the day would hold. The list was long. Capture an elusive butterfly, the large yellow and black ones, find a snake, maybe pick it up like Dad showed me to, make friends with a frog, and there in the midst of it, it stuck out at me. Spy. Yes, this is what I was called to do today. Boredom had no place for someone this busy. I'd like to pause here for a moment and stand briefly on the precipice of modern society to offer a eulogy for that vanished way of life, when boredom and quiet stillness welcomed us to hear our spirit, a connection all people must partake in, but not many do. In our current era, we have paid a heavy cost. We pay without even realizing we are paying it, like a subscription that keeps charging because it's so small, so insignificant at the time, we barely notice. The cost, time, and connection, the most precious resources we have. In the past, we offered it to people and to presents. Now, we spend it on screens. Like kids feeding quarters into arcade machines, believing the supply is endless. Reels, shorts, videos, TV, endless distractions, and when we realize we are down to the last quarter, the moment has already vanished. Before cell phones, before tablets, before cable, the days were quiet, and in that quiet, a conduit to the spirit world that we have sadly lost touch with. Perhaps we'll find our way back. If not, these may become the last stories of a time when adventure was found and not curated for views. As I put the notebook away, I considered how a proper spy should dress. I devoted myself fully to the mission. Did I eat? No idea. Drink? Maybe. Brush my teeth? Not likely. The mission was all that mattered. The target? Our neighbor. We had an older neighbor who was always outside doing something, and one of my favorite things to do was simply watch him. It was better than television, better than any video, a real life show viewed through the endless curious imagination of a child, reality TV before it was a thing. I was convinced that if I observed carefully enough, I might uncover the secret of adulthood. Treasure I could carry back to school when the fall came. So naturally, I decided to crawl through the tall weeds surrounding his unkempt house. Perfect cover. I inched closer, no sign of him. His garden? Quiet. I decided to be a little bit braver and I crept up to his window. His blinds were always open. It was the country, of course. The only things peeping through your windows were birds. I slowly rose and pressed my face to the cold glass. There he was, target acquired. He was on his couch, reading. Reading? Who reads when summer's bursting with adventure? Suspicious behavior indeed. Suddenly, movement. He stood up. Instantly, I dropped. His back door creaked open. Perfect. I could now watch him through blades of grass. No need for a dusty, spider-ridden window. I became familiar with his pattern, like a good spy. Read, wander, eat, pace through the garden. He was too quiet. But good spies stick it out, even when the mission offers nothing new. On this particular mission, I slithered through his magnificently overgrown garden. It felt less like a yard and more like a jungle. Plants spilled into one another, wild, unrestrained, just like life should be. Nothing appeared trimmed, corrected, or restrained, for their master allowed it. Beautiful chaos, and I loved it. That day, I found out his greatest secret. He had eyes in the back of his head, for he noticed me and waved. I was caught. So the next thing, act like I was there on purpose. A good spy doesn't blow their cover from one wrong move. I moved through his garden, his world, and took a seat next to him. He looked as old and overgrown as the garden, wrinkled, peaceful, busy with his work, like a forest mage. His name, ironically, was Herb. To my young mind, this felt both amusing and entirely appropriate. I sat quietly beside him. He did not feel the need to fill the silence. So I didn't either. He began shucking corn. There was something magical about corn silk, soft, smooth, bending and clinging to everything it touched, like moonlit fairy hair. What I remember most was the life hidden within that corn, not just the life growing from the soil, but the smaller lives sheltered inside it. Once, a spider crawled from within a corn husk and disappeared directly into his shoe. Certain catastrophe. Surely, I thought, this was how it would end for him, brought down by a poisonous spider concealed within his own harvest. But Herb did not panic. He didn't flinch, as though such things were simply part of the quiet agreement between himself and the living world. His garden did not merely surround him, it included him. From him, I learned I did not need to be afraid, that plants were not just food, not just decoration, they were homes. As a child, I knew only this version of Herb. Quiet, gentle, at ease among growing things. What I did not yet understand was that adults carry entire stories, histories invisible to children. Years earlier, Herb had been in a terrible motorcycle accident. His wife had been riding behind him. She did not survive. He did. His house fell into disrepair. The edges of his life seemed to loosen. Sometimes people are not so different from plants. Without care, without light, without something to sustain them, they begin to fade. And sometimes, even when life continues, something essential has already been lost. Herb eventually withered away. I never saw him again after those summer days in the garden. No goodbye, no closing conversation, only absence. It was my first quiet acquaintance with death. At some point, life became too much to bear and he took his own life. But like an eternal card catalog of memory, somewhere within me rests a card labeled H, Herb. And within it, the lesson I learned. Not spoken, no words, only quiet presence. And that spider from his shoe, which I would later recognize for what it truly was, a harmless jumping spider. Now, when I find them, I gently lift them, I admire them, sometimes I place them among my plants. I once offered one water, and to my satisfaction he obliged. That was the secret I had been spying all those days for. And Herb, the silent mage who taught it to me without ever speaking, on sunny days I think of Herb, of gardens, of corn silk drifting in warm light, of spiders. They hold life, they hold memory. They hold the imprints of those who once sat quietly beside us and taught us something without ever trying to.